been a while. We've been kind of doing a bunch of stuff around the house, trying to do some early spring cleaning and get rid of a bunch of stuff and kind of fix, repair some things, maybe potentially selling our house soon. So I've just been crazy busy with that, so I haven't been able to get any videos out. But I did notice that while I was doing all this stuff and doing some various things around the house, that there are really 5 things on my workbench that just stay there and are always useful. And they're not tools. Like, you know, I have tools over here that sit on my workbench, have vices that sit on my workbench, and you know, those are all well and good. They're useful, but there's 5 things that just really I use and go to all the time, but they're not tools, but they're tools. And the first one is this right here. And this just looks like a pile of wood, right? But this is actually like pieces from flat pack furniture. So when people in my neighborhood are throwing stuff out in the trash, usually go to find pieces like this, because you can find things that are relatively flat. They have straight edges on it, which can be useful for various things. I use these a lot of times for cutting stuff out. So when I've cut rubbers off of table tennis paddles, I've stuck them down on this. It gives me a good cutting surface, and I don't have to worry about like the holes in my workbench, stuff like that. So it gives me a nice surface for cutting into. I've used it to make router templates a few times, and it's really useful stuff. And then even the big chunks like this are really good because they tend to be really heavy. They don't move a whole lot. A nice flat surface, you know, if you want to stick down a piece of sandpaper to that and actually sand your items straight onto that, can be pretty useful. Probably the most useful thing I've made, actually, this was made out of flat pack furniture, and this is my circular saw jig. So I just run the saw along this straight edge here that acts like a fence, and it gives me a straight cut, and it does a flush cut, so I can line this edge straight up with the line that I want to cut, and it works perfect. All right, item number 2, we're going to go over on this side, blue tape. Not just masking tape, not duct tape, not scotch tape, blue tape. It's great for everything, but not all blue tape is made the same. So right here we have, so this is 3M Edge Lock. That I've used primarily for painting, and like if I need to have a pretty crisp line when I'm painting, I don't do that nice of work, so this helps me out quite a bit. That's good for that. This is just the basic 3M. Having different thicknesses can be very good. And then this is the Harbor Freight blue tape, which sucks for painting. Don't use it for painting lines. It's terrible for painting lines. But it has 2 really good features about it. One, it doesn't stick to anything because it sucks. But sometimes you need something that just is on there for just a little bit. The other good feature is it sticks to itself way better than this stuff does. It's kind of weird, but this stuff sticks to itself whether you stick it sticky to sticky or sticky to not sticky. What's the other side of tape at the top? Dry, non-sticky, less sticky? I don't know. Whatever. But either way, the Harbor Freight stuff tends to stick to itself really well, which there's certain times when that can be pretty useful. I can't think of any right now, but it's been useful. And you can tell, I mean, I've used both of these almost down to the bottom. I need to go get some more. But that's another thing that comes in really useful. It's nice to have a temporary solution that won't mess up what you're working with it on. All right, item number 3, bottle of water. I almost always have a partial bottle of water, some paper towels, and little cup, like, you know, yogurt cups, or this is Luigi's Real Italian Ice, little cups like that. And it's perfect for, like, if you need to do some wet sanding on something, you pour a little bit in the cup. It's easy to get. Paper towels and water in case you need to clean up like some glue squeeze out or something like that, or especially when we've been going through stuff in our house and we pull something out and it'll be a little bit dusty or maybe have some sticky on it or some dirty stuff that needs to be cleaned off of it, something like that. You know, stuff gets kicked under the furniture. You find it when you're moving things, and just having water, paper towels, and some cups sitting on the workbench has just been invaluable for me. It's really paid off just having this stuff sitting there. And it seems kind of ridiculous, but, you know, just drink a little bit of water and then set it on your workbench and you have it. All right, item number 4 is heavy stuff. Heavy stuff. This is, I have to say, this is, you know, I've picked up a lot of things from watching Jimmy DiResta videos, as most people have. But this has been one of the lasting things that I didn't think was that big a deal until I started using them. Heavy stuff makes such a big difference. You know, having things like this that if you need to glue something together but you can't really clamp it right, or it doesn't need to be, you know, held permanently, you could just grab something heavy, stick it on top of it, and keep it in place. You know, even just, you know, your simple weights that go with your barbell and stuff like that. This has been really cool, actually. This is just a straight bar, really, really heavy. You know, I'd say both of these are pretty comfortable in weight. And actually, both of these came off of a tennis racket stringer that parts of it had rusted, it wasn't working anymore, and I didn't need it anymore. So I took it apart, and having something that's this long, heavy, and straight, I can also use it as like a clamping caul if I need to. It just really gives me a lot of leverage on things. And then something like this that's both got weight and some dimension to it. So like if I clamp this down to the workbench, it gives me a nice sturdy surface that I can work up against, or, you know, I can clamp two of them like that if I need to hold something upright. These have just been really useful, and just in general, heavy stuff makes such a big difference. The number 1 item, which is also the number 5 item, is the Workbench Surface. I made this workbench as one of the first things I made when I moved into this house a long time ago. This has been the same top surface the whole time, and for a while I tried to protect it. I didn't want it to get messed up. I don't remember where I first saw it or heard it, or, you know, I'm sure it was somebody on a video said, your work surface should be used and it should be abused and it should have scars on it. And, you know, really, that's been such an eye-opener for me. You know, like, if you need to spray paint something little, you don't have to go through the process of finding a place to spray paint or whatever, finding, you know, the proper thing to put under it and protect it and stuff like that. Just stick it down and spray paint it. You know, tape stuff to your workbench if you need to keep it in place. Again, with blue tape, that can be a good, useful thing. There's all kinds of holes of every different size in here. You know, it's even doodle. Like, if you have an idea and you can't find paper, and all you have is pencil, just do it on your workbench. You know, worst come to worst, you can paint over it or sand it away. But, you know, I have all kinds of different, you know, paint and different scratches and cut marks from cutting razor blades and stuff on this workbench, and it gives it character. And I look at it and I can see the things that I've done. You know, it helps me relive the process that I went through to get there. Your workbench surface is a tool, and you should use it. You should leverage that tool and use it to your advantage. And that's just been one thing that's really stuck with me that I've learned from other people. Anyway, that's 5 not tools that I think are tools that I've been using as tools that aren't really tools, but, you know, what is a tool? It's something you use, right? And I've used all of these more than anything else in my shop over the past probably 4 weeks. And even before then, when I'm actually using all my other tools and stuff, these tend to be my go-tos, and I always have these on or around my workbench at all times. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully not too long a wait this time, but have a good one. I don't know where I've read it or saw it. Another reason to have water sitting around.